Kirill and his wife had been married for 4 years. Kirill was just starting out as an entrepreneur and had quickly become successful within a couple of years. They decided to get married during this exciting time, and his wife was beyond thrilled. She had high hopes that Kirill would continue to succeed and take care of her, fulfilling her dream of living a life of pleasure and not working. However, the situation changed when Kirill's business went uphill, and he found himself in debt and without means of livelihood. Having no other way out, his wife was forced to find a job to support the family. She took a job as an administrator at a beauty salon, working part-time shifts with another woman. Although the pay was not ideal, she was happy with the flexible schedule of 3 to 4 days a week. She believed that the job would motivate Kirill to strive for greater success. Unfortunately, Kirill struggled to recover from setbacks. Facing financial difficulties, Kirill decided to take a job in his specialty in a small office to pay off his debts. The starting salary was modest, and after expenses, there was very little left at the end of each month. His wife expressed dissatisfaction with their financial situation, but Kirill remained silent in response. As their problems worsened, his wife found herself drawn to Denis, Kirill's successful best friend in another field. At first, she admired Denis's success from afar, but over time she began to communicate with him behind Kirill's back. After several secret meetings organized under false pretenses, the woman began to openly flirt with Denis. She was increasingly attracted by his financial success and luxurious lifestyle, and she succumbed to his charms despite her longtime friendship with Kirill. Within months, they were having a secret affair behind her husband's back. Although they were both eager to leave her neglectful husband and start a new life with Denis, she realized that their debts would be divided equally in a divorce. Not wanting to take on such a financial burden, she planned to continue living on her husband's means without taking on any responsibility. She mentally envisioned their future together, paying off their debts, marrying Denis, and enjoying a luxurious life in his luxurious apartment. She believed that this was the only way forward and looked forward to the day when it would materialize. On free days, when her husband was at work, Denis would come to their home. She waited anxiously at the window, anticipating the arrival of his fancy car, and then met him in a frank robe. During one of the meetings on the marital bed, Denis proposed to go to another city, where they could rest in privacy without unnecessary secrecy. Encouraged by this proposal, the woman quickly came up with a plausible story to tell her husband, and he remained in ignorance of their plans. A few days later at dinner, she told Cyril that she intends to go to a refresher course to advance her career and in the long run to take a senior position in the salon. Her husband rejoiced at the news, relieved that now she would concentrate on work and not pester him with questions about his earnings. She tried to sleep that night, feeling a mixture of hot and cold, but could find no relief. The woman was looking forward to the upcoming vacation with her beloved, but could not get rid of the nagging feeling of anxiety. On the day of departure, Kirill left for work later than usual, so the wife decided to sleep in on her day off. Waking up close to noon, she had a leisurely breakfast and started packing her suitcase. Denis picked her up a couple hours later, and the trip took longer than expected. All along the way, Kirill kept updating her, worrying about her well-being. When his constant pestering became overwhelming, she promised to text him as soon as she checked into the hotel. Worried for her safety, Cyril asked her to send him the name of the hotel. However, too lazy to type the long and poorly readable name in italics, she simply took a picture of the building and sent it to her husband. Several days passed, and late one night Kirill came home glowing with pride. He had successfully passed the final stage of the interview process and had been offered a job at another company with a salary almost double what he had now. He couldn't help but think about how happy his wife would be to hear the news. After not speaking to each other for a while, mostly relying on text messages, he decided to call her. However, she failed to answer the phone twice, assuming that she had already gone to bed, as it was deep into the night. He attributed her absence to fatigue from a busy day. Indeed, she was in bed at that time. The next day, they woke up with Denis around 10 in the morning. Their bodies pleasantly sore from the previous night's physical exertion. The woman got out of bed and stretched contentedly. On the breakfast tray by the bedside was a delicious assortment of fruits, pastries, and drinks. Looking at it, she dreamed of a life filled with luxury hotels, leisurely breakfasts in bed, and a successful partner at her side. Taking their time, they got ready and locked up the room before heading downstairs. Their plan for the day included exploring the city center, walking around and visiting various attractions. Before heading onward, the girl asked her partner to wait a little while she approached the receptionist to inquire about access to the spa and the treatments available. While the friendly employee was explaining the details, Dennis couldn't stand it and started taking selfies in the luxurious interior of the hotel. Carelessly uploading the photo to his social media account, he quickly forgot about it. Meanwhile, Cyril sat at work, focused on completing the few remaining chores before gracefully transitioning to his new job. During his lunch break, he absent-mindedly scrolled through his social media feed, watching what his friends were sharing. Amidst a sea of unremarkable photos, he came across one featuring Dennis. Intrigued, he smiled, gave it a like, and continued scrolling. However, something made him reconsider this particular post. In the background, he noticed a surprisingly familiar logo with an unusual italicized font. He immediately opened the photo his wife had sent him of the same hotel and carefully compared it to his friend's post. The names were identical. Surely this could not be a mere coincidence. At that very moment, a sudden wave of realization swept over him. The unexpected departure, the avoidance of phone calls, and now these pictures. The truth was revealed. His wife was not away on a course, as she had claimed, but was having fun with his best friend. For the rest of the night, sleep did not come to him. Overcome with grief, he gathered all his wife's things and put them on the threshold of the house. There was no more forgiveness. When she returned home, she was overcome with confusion. The key would not open the apartment. At that moment, her husband appeared and pointed to the pile of her belongings. He calmly explained that he had found out all about her affair with Dennis and had immediately filed for divorce. After the vacation, the unfaithful spouse didn't seem the least bit worried. She believed that the debts after the divorce and jointly acquired property would work in her favor. However, events took an unexpected turn. She called her lover and confessed everything, happy to say that now they could openly be together. But her lover, Dennis, shocked her with his response. He confessed that he was not going to build a serious relationship with her. He'd only wanted a convenient fling for a vacation. Dennis made it clear that he did not plan to live together and abruptly interrupted the conversation. The woman was stunned for almost 20 minutes. It seemed to her that the world around her was collapsing. She ordered a car and returned to her parents' home feeling defeated and depressed. Although her relationship with her parents was strained, she saw no other option. The divorce proceedings had divided her husband's loans equally between them, and they could not escape the consequences. To make matters worse, she had to take on extra work hours to deal with the consequences of her treacherous infidelity.